Hey everyone, and welcome to my top 10 of what I believe are the top 10 hardest gyms in all the Pokemon games up to date. Now, as with any top 10 you may have seen, these are all titled to my opinion, so if you disagree or have any other comments to do with this, please feel free to comment below and voice your opinion nicely. Let's get on with the video. So, you were expecting me to say top 10 hardest gym leaders, and maybe top 10 easiest gym leaders, but no, I've never actually seen this many on YouTube, and I think we never really thought of it. What are the top 10 most challenging gym puzzles, should we say? And I'm going to be counting down that for you. So let's start with number 10. Number 10 I've chosen as Dewford City in Pokemon Emerald, Ruby and Sapphire. Now this gym is a fighting type gym, it's the second gym in the game. The main concept of it is when you enter it's basically pitch black, and as you defeat trainers it lights up your screen and your visibility becomes greater. So the main concept is you fight all the trainers, and as you nearly get to the end, you'll have a great bit of visibility and you find the gym leader. Now, although this seems a really good concept, and on top of this there's trainers, there's double battle, and it's a small area in general, the main negative of why I think it still deserves a spot, but it's down at the bottom, is because with the right logic, or if you looked up a walkthrough, you could easily get to the gym leader without even trying, and so that defeats the object of the puzzle. But nonetheless, it's quite a challenging puzzle, and quite a good one right early on in the game. So number 9 I've chosen as Vermilion City in really red, blue, and Pokemon Fire red, leaf green. Or in the Kanto region, I guess you could say. Now, this is, again, it's an electric gym, but the reason why I think it deserves a spot, but it's not a high spot, is because it's not much challenge in it or skill, it's mainly on luck. Now, if you don't know the initial concept of this puzzle, you go into this one big room, and there's around 20 plus bins. You must find one switch, so not only does it involve you going to literally each switch, hoping that one of them is the switch, and then you must locate a second switch, which is north, east, south, or west of that original switch. The thing is though, it's random. The second switch is randomized each time, so it could be any of those 4 directions, giving you a 1 in 4 chance. So although this is a very small chance, you can get it. You can get it in a couple of minutes, and so although there's no skill involved, and that's why I believe it still deserves a spot, because it can be frustrating to the actual person on top of trainers, and so that's why I think it still deserves a spot as number 9. So number 8 I've chosen as Hearthome City in Pokemon Platinum. The reason why this is Pokemon Platinum is because Pokemon Platinum actually redesigns a lot of the gyms compared to Pokemon Pearl and Diamond, and so Platinum really does offer a new challenge to this gym in particular. So what makes it so different is, in the first one it was simply a question, one of those question ones when you answer a question, the wrong answer equals a trainer. This one takes it a whole step further. Again, it's another dark gym, and you have a torch this time, and so do all the trainers. Now, I believe on this one, you must find a picture or shape which is around the area that you're in, and go in the correct doors to the gym leader, and it's kind of like a teleportation thing. So if you go through the wrong door, you go to the start, etc. But what makes this gym quite hard, and I think quite frustrating, is not only is it very hard visibility, the trainers themselves are very hard. They have a lot of Pokemon such as Ghastly, Haunter, and Mischievous, with some quite fatal moves. With the hard battles, trying to find the right shape and the bad visibility with the right door, it can be quite a challenge to most trainers to say it's quite an early gym in Pokemon Platinum, of course. So that's why I think it deserves number 8. Number 7 is Dewford City of Pokemon Black and White 2. Now again, I notice I say Black and White 2, is because I find it much harder than originally Black and White. So correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe in Black and White 2, it's nearly the same concept, but it is it's darker. I may be wrong on that, but it's dark. And basically, again, it's like you gain visibility as you go onto each platform, and it lights up. So what makes this quite challenging is there are trainers already, so there's trainers to battle. Depending if you have the right types, if you have a water type, you'd be fine, but if you have the wrong types, it can be very annoying to get back going across the platforms, across the the elevator moving platforms, just to hit your Pokemon. What makes this a bit more easier, which is why it doesn't have such a higher spot, is that there are viewpoints, and so with that, with your memory, if you have a good memory, or you can just note it down, you can quite easily solve this gym by just using some trial and error, and eventually getting to the gym leader, Clay. So number 6, I've decided to put there Sunnyshore Gym of Pokemon, well, it's the same as anyone, Pokemon Pearl, Diamond, and Platinum. So this one doesn't change in either games, but in general it's just a frustrating puzzle. There's gears, and just with the constant rotations as you have to press each gear to lock it into place, to find the right path. Going along there, it just feels like a never-ending gym going forward and forward until you finally reach Volkner. And I just find it's already the 8th gym, so it's high level battles if you're not trained up enough. It's durable to go all the way back. On top of having trainers and just the constant rotations, it can be quite a challenge to most trainers on the last hurdle before the Elite Four. And I think, just in general, because the time the time consuming of it, the high battles, I think it does deserve number 6 in comparison to most of the other gyms. So number 5 I put as Icarus City of Pokemon Black and White, because of course it isn't in black, well, it's not usable as such in Black and White 2. And now this is, one of those classic ice puzzles, and this is why I've actually placed them quite strategically, I hope that you'd realise. And although this is a nice puzzle, there are some cons to it, which do make it, I find, a bit easier, in my opinion. So first of all, there's not as such ice surfaces, there's a lot less of that. And there's, like, as you know, there's curves to help you the curves are used to launch you. But what I mean is, there's a lot more kind of visible stuff which you can use to know the right way to go. And there's a lot more stuff I find to help you compared to more ice puzzles and, other generations of gym puzzles. But I think, anyway, just, again, it's time consuming, but it isn't as long as other ones. I think it still deserves number 5 though, because it does offer quite a challenge. Ice puzzles in general are quite challenging, but this one in comparison to other ones make it a lot easier, I think, when you think of the comparisons. So number 4 I put as Labyrinth City of Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire and Emerald. So this one can actually be quite a challenging gym. Although the concept is very simple, it can be quite annoying to the average player. So let's talk what is it. First of all, it's hard visibility with steam rolling in and moving constantly on your screen. There's again multiple trains like they would be in any gym. But there's also holes, and there's loads of them, multiple choices of holes. And of course, you go in these holes, you get put to another area. So it's a bit like teleportation ones, but I find this one's a lot harder because, again, not only do you have the visibility, which can deter you a bit, there's so many holes. If you go off ledges, you have to start again. And before you know it, your brain's just clogged up with so many different directions, you just really don't know what to do. And I think, it's hard to remember the right paths. If, let's just say, you go to the Pokemon Center, you hear your Pokemon, you might forget the wrong path, you accidentally might face another trainer because you didn't remember it. And on top of that, it's just a constant trial and error really until you get the right one. There's no way to really actually solve it without trial and error. So I think this is quite a challenging one. Again, it's an average one. It's about midway in the games of Generation 3. And I think with this, it does deserve the number 4 spot quite rightly. So coming in at number 3 is a newer one, Snowbelle City of Pokemon X and Y. And when I first did this, for me, I found it the most challenging gym out of all Generation 6. This is because not only did you have to wait so long, this is more of a time-consuming part, I know, but not only did you have to wait so long to press and move the whole kind of, what would you call it, part of the square along, I never found the right option. You basically had 2 choices, and you had to move. Eventually, as you moved on, you had so many different ways you could rotate each part of the square. It got really confusing. Not only did you have to move the right one, let's just say you moved the second square, you had to make sure you could get back to the first one, and then if you messed that up, you couldn't move, so you had to reverse it. And it's quite hard to explain, but you'll see in the videos, of course. But in general, it's just a hard, confusing puzzle with multiple floors. What I mean by that is the squares, hard trainers, because again, it's the 8th gym, and a hard typing for some people. You could always argue that. And yeah, it's the only... Yeah, sorry, I'm thinking of the wrong one. Not hard typing, sorry. It's just a hard ice puzzle. Wait, I'm thinking... Sorry, guys. Time switching areas. Averagely hard trainers, 4 sections, and I believe it resets when you leave. I may be wrong on that one, but anyway, that's what I believe anyway. So I got my points messed up there. So, number 2, we're coming right near the end now. If you remember this or not, is Blackthorn City of Pokemon Gold and Silver. Now, this has had a massive remake if you look at this one in comparison to Heartgold SoulSilver. And if you thought Heartgold SoulSilver was hard, you haven't seen nothing yet. This is the only gym up to date to require HM in the game. Not only do you need HM strength just to complete this gym, with hard confusing puzzles with multiple floors using the HM strength, hard trainers with the mix of a hard typing, of course being Dragon, remembering that at this time, of course there was no fairy typing to really do it, you only had a choice of Dragon or Ice. Not only that, once your efforts were used, you had to face Claire, again, which is a Dragon gym leader. It made it a very challenging gym. Now, if you haven't, probably not many of you have played this gym if you haven't played this game, of course, but just requiring a HM in the actual gym is something you've never seen. Although it's a really old gym, it just made it really, I found quite hard. With multiple floors, if you messed up the strength puzzle, you had to reset it, and it was so repetitive. And it really was quite a challenge, and I think it really did make it it made it feel so great once you got that final gym badge from Claire eventually throughout the game. So guys, we're finally here at number 1. I'm not sure if you expected this, but you probably, if you played this game, you probably will. Number 1 is Snowpoint City of Pokemon Pearl, Diamond and Platinum. Now, you could argue, Nathan, this is the same as Snowbelle, this is the same as Icarus, this is the same as Pseudopolis. It's all ice puzzles, it should be classed as the same. Well, I disagree with that, because I think Snowpoint, if you've done it, is so frustrating how it works. So, it's not such an ice puzzle. Well, it is an ice puzzle, I guess, but it's your main focus is, there's a path straight to Candace, but you have to clear the snowballs, because apparently that's what you have to do. And not only are there loads of trainers, it seems to be, with, again, high levels, you have to clear so many snowballs. It's not like, you have to probably, clear through 5 kind of sets of snowballs. There's so many different ways to go. You go right, left, there's so many different places. You get lost of where you need to go, and it's really hard to find the right area. And I remember most importantly, I was playing it one time in the car. I guess it's not relevant, but I was playing it one time. I took around half an hour, and I still couldn't do it. I just got stuck on the last snowball. And not only that is, you may have gone through all the gym leaders, the trainers in that time, because you didn't know this at the time. All your Pokemon are nearly off, you have no revives, you've finally done it, you break that last snowball, you're cheering to yourself, you're going to say, Candace, I'm going to fuck you up. You go to your Pokemon, as you would for any gym battle, most likely. You go back in, because your guess is, oh, well, you've done the puzzle, it should notify that. You go in, and they're all back there again. Just like that, just like magic, like they reset it all for you. And that is why I really think it deserves the #1 spot. Because it's one of those gyms, unless you actually have a walkthrough in front of you, you just forget how to do it. You've got to clear all these snowballs and top of trainers. Once you've done all that, and if you go out the gym, it resets it completely, and it's so annoying. And I remember when I first did that, it got me so stressed. And that's really my opinion. So guys, that is the top 10. If you enjoyed it, please give a like. It really helps me out a lot. If you're new to my channel and please subscribe, because I'm doing a Pokemon playthrough at the moment. I do a bit of everything as such. So check it out if you like it. Give me a comment if you agreed with my top 10. Give me a comment if you disagreed and say why. And if you want more top 10s for Pokemon, please say so, and I would happily do them, because I like doing them, but the only reason why I don't is because of editing and such. They take a long time, but I wanted to do this one. If you enjoyed it, say so. If you want me to do more, say so, and I'll see you guys later. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.